Welcome to Architrave Gaming. I'm Matthias, the Archmaster. We're just gonna do it. So this whole time we've been holding ourselves back, thinking, well, we have to be wearing the uniform and we have to make sure we're in a good mood and say all the right things and give the right intro and outro and all that stuff. You see so many YouTubers that just they have their brand, they have their certain look or sound or thing, and it makes them recognizable, and they get popular because of it and all that stuff. And I see that's in my future, that's in me, but trying to make sure I perform at a 10 all the time is keeping me from performing at all. And so perfection is the enemy of good enough, better is the enemy of good, best is the enemy of better, all that. Same way to say that, different ways to say that I'm just going to do the thing first, and then we'll worry about perfecting it later and wearing the uniform every time and doing all the cool stuff. So anyway, we're just doing it. This channel, at least for a while, until I find my footing, is pretty much going to be me telling you about my world. I'm Matthias, the CEO of upcoming Architrave Gaming. We make tabletop adventure games. No, they're not called tabletop role-playing games, although a lot of people call them that. They're not actually. They're tabletop adventure games because you cannot gamify role-playing. At least I've never seen it done. Anyway, this is going to be philosophy, gameplay design, tips and tricks and homebrew and whatnot for your 5e games. Not so much homebrew, more like completely replacing it with my own system, which I've been working on for the last few years, and now it's finally pretty much complete, at least, the base game. I still have to add all the different classes and subclasses and all that stuff. But the base game is complete, as far as I know right now. You can always change things later. But it's essentially saying, hey, 5e, good bones, the 6 attributes, yes, scores and mods, those are actually a good thing when you know how to use them. You roll a d20 and you add a modifier, unified mechanics, all that kind of stuff. Not reinventing the wheel or anything. It's what a lot of people like. It's what a lot of people know. It works well for heroic fantasy because of the swinginess that actually helps the genre. Anyway, man, I'm going all over the place. See, this is what you can expect probably in the next few months is me, brain dumping and just talking and stuff, because really the point of this, the early part of this channel, is for you to get to know me. I have 2 main goals, and I probably want to say it at the start of every single video I make. I have 2 goals for this channel. One is to get a team of people to help me. I'm going to tell you about my gameplay, game design philosophy, about my world, about my plans and the future, and tips and tricks, all the stuff. I'm going to tell you about these things, and I'm looking for budding designers out there and world builders to say, wow, that sounds super interesting. Either the gameplay sounds interesting or the world sounds interesting. I want to join your team, right? I'm actively looking for team members to help me join, because I've been doing this thing for 3 years, pretty much all by myself, and I'm up to 3 million words in 3 years. Like 3 million words in less than 3 years. And I'm ready for help. I'm ready for other people to come on board in the company. That's not really a company yet. I haven't incorporated it, but I'm looking for other people to come on board and actually help make the game and the world into everything it could be, because if I'm left to it all by myself, it's going to take like 10 years, right? So I need help. But the second thing is funding. Whether, just a whole bunch of Patreon or crowdfunding, or if some, millionaire out there is like, dude, I can spare $20,000, take it, or even $5,000, or even with anything, right? It's funding. That's my next big goal, is someone hears the absolute fantastic things going on in this world and the fixes for 5e gameplay, because yes, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. I'm looking at 5e and saying a lot of people like it, a lot of people play it, it just has a lot of problems. I'm going to fix the problems, so much so that it's not the same game anymore. I made my own game based off 5e. You can look at 5e and see how I changed every little thing until we get to my game over here. And it's like, okay, well, it's not 5e anymore. But people who know 5e can switch to this and be like, oh, wow, it's just 5e, but fixed, And the way to fix 5e is make it not 5e anymore. So it's not 5e anymore, but still, it's 5e, but fixed, My little catchphrase is 5e if it made sense, right? D&D 5e, of course. So, yeah, the first thing is team. I'm just going to talk and tell you guys about my world, tell you about the fixes I make to gameplay, just sell you on me as a person and my world and like everything we have here. That's like, it's the most fantastical thing you've ever heard of. And so, some of you may say, dude, I want to be part of that, I want to work, and then, some of you may say, dude, I want to see that come to fruition, take my money, right? That's kind of the whole goal of this thing. And this isn't going to be the, popular D&D YouTubers out there where you tune in every week and you see, here's a tips and tricks video. I finally read the DMG one day, and here are the things that it said in it. It's not going to be basics like that. This is going to be deep philosophy on what exactly makes a game in the first place and why we play and why we enjoy it, and then moving on from there. That's just the foundation. Moving, why do we like 5e? What specifically about it do we like? What can we change safely? What can we change to bolster and double down on the things that we like? Instead of distracting from it, like a bit of 5e's design conflicts with itself. So it's from the broad foundational stuff to the intricate and the nitty gritty and everywhere in between. And then there's like gameplay philosophy and then actual game design. Like, hey, here's the math behind stuff. Like all sorts of stuff. I'm not gonna pigeonhole myself. This is essentially convincing you, whether you're a funder or a team member or just a viewer. It's basically convincing you that this guy knows what he's talking about, and I can actually add. Not just add, I can really add to the current tabletop gaming space in a major way, in a super major way that's coming. It's coming one day if I ever get enough funding. Yeah, that's it. That's essentially this channel. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Team members, if you watch this video or any others and you're like, dude, I want to work with him, tell me in the comments, email me, comments for now, right? We'll just keep it simple. Just comment me and say, hey, I'm a designer, I want to work with you, or I'm just curious, I want to just see what you have, right? That's absolutely fine. And if you want to fund me, if for some reason you think this crazy guy can actually do what he's saying he can do, and I hesitate to use the word revolutionize, but I'm not going to tear down and rebuild. I'm not starting from scratch or anything, but it's definitely evolutionize. It's another big step in terms of fantasy worlds, at least with my with my game. It's 5e but fixed, right? So that's not super revolutionary. It's just like, wow, dude, finally, thank you, it's finally fixed, right? But with the world itself, with what we've done with fantasy. And a fantasy world, and what a fantasy world can be, and the fact that it's not just boring flat green hills like Tolkien's world, like Europe, essentially just like, oh yeah, everyone is essentially just Europe again and again and again. Those are all our fantasy worlds. Here's Dragonlance, it's Europe. Here's Forgotten Realms, it's Europe. Again and again and again. That's all we have. And then maybe someone will put a floating mountain in there. It's like, but what if we did more, right? I forgot where I was going with this. This is me. Yeah, so whether you want to join my team or you want to do funding, that's kind of the whole point of this. If you're watching this and you're like, yeah, I want to do funding, Patreon right now, it should be in the description. I'll probably add it in there one of these days. The whole point of me doing this now is just actually making YouTube videos just as me, without the persona, the uniform, without the stuff, just doing it as me and getting it out there. So there might not be links in there when they're supposed to be. I'll get to it eventually, probably one day, right? This is more just rapid fire, get it done, versus make it all perfect. Anyway, I don't want the video to be too long for the sake of the algorithm. Speaking of that, feed the algorithm, please. I hope to be making lots of videos to kind of sell y'all on the world and everything. So hurry back soon, next video, all the fun stuff. Thank you for watching. God bless.